All right, so I was talking to a guy the other day up in Michigan, if memory serves. Ohio, excuse me. And good guy. You want to hear something crazy? 2008, wife dies suddenly. 2008, he loses his job. 2008, his portfolio fell by, remember what it fell by? Remember 2008? 2008, the value of his home goes south, so he's underwater. Thank goodness he stayed working a couple more years, right? You know, because a couple of more years in stable work would have prevented that, right? Am I right? Am I right? Of course I'm not right, because that's just freaking stupid, because he lost his job. He lost his investments. He lost his wife. And his house is worth less than what he owed. So I'm reading this article on Zero Hedge, talking about the one chart Jerome Powell is looking at. I can't follow this crap. But it's about the liquidity. And a couple guys are saying this could be another Lehman Brothers weekend. And that scared the living bejesus out of me, man. I was like, whoa. And I don't know who these guys are in terms of, you know, are they fear-monger types? I don't know. But they might be. But I like Zero Hedge. You know, they're definitely kind of on the scaredy cat side of things. So, you know, I kind of take it with a grain of salt. But that scared me, man. Like, whoa. What if that came to fruition? Even a half of a Lehman Brothers weekend. The point being, this guy was saying, we're eliminating Russia basically from the global economy, and Russia provides a whole lot of liquidity to us. We've never done this before, where we've said, yep, you can no longer play. And they're talking about Russian banks holding this and our banks holding that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's a complete house of cards, man. Complete house of cards. And it just reminds me of 2008. I'm sitting there thinking, what happened in 2008? There was no liquidity. What that means is the mark-to-market accounting said you could not sell your bonds, or you had to sell your bonds, once they went below a certain threshold of credit rating. All right. So you can sell your bonds all day long, but who's going to buy them if they also cannot buy bonds that have a below the investment grade credit quality? So just because you're trying to sell, you don't liquidate because there's no purchaser of them. So what happens? Merrill Lynch trades with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs trades with UBS. UBS trades with, TD, Toronto Dominion. The investment companies, the insurers traded the insurers. The pensions all traded each other, but all within their charter, they cannot hold below investment grade banks or investment grade bonds. So bonds get rated badly because they're backed by mortgage securities, which inherently are not going to pay. And the bonds get rated, they go down, I can't remember what less than investment grade is. Triple B, I just forgot. So then Lehman Brothers says, I got to liquidate these bonds because they're below my threshold for my charter as an investment company. Standard Charter says, I can't buy your bonds, Lehman Brothers, because they're below investment grade, and I can't own bonds that are below investment grade. In fact, I also have bonds that are below investment grade, and as such, I got to liquidate those too. So what do? Then comes Merrill Lynch. You want to buy our bonds, Merrill Lynch? We can't. We got some for sale. You want to buy them? We can't. We got some for sale. You have this huge supply of bonds with no market to buy. What does that do to price, amigos? It drops it through the floor. Huge supply, literally no demand, kaboom. Which was the point about QE and the point about Hank Paulson and the freaking scumbags and all these guys just totally taking the American taxpayer for a ride, and privatizing the profits and socializing the risk. So all these guys still got paid. You and I didn't. We paid the bill. It's nuts. Well, you got paid, Josh, and the value of your stock's going up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fleeting until I liquidate to sell. That's just a fact, Jack. It's freaking nuts. So anyway, that's what caused the debacle of the 2008 due to mark-to-market accounting. You had to value your bonds, your assets essentially current. You had to give them current value. All right? So what happens when you have to give them current value? Well, the price has fallen out of the ceiling, out of the floor, because the bonds cannot be traded. No one is buying, which means the ask price continues to drop and drop and drop because the bid price is so far below, because people say, I can't buy your bonds. If I can get them for 10 cents on the dollar, I will, but other than that, and that's gonna be like a hedge fund or something like that who has enough cash, or a Warren Buffett, or a government to buy them up. But mark-to-market accounting said, look, you have to mark your assets to market, i.e., price your assets to the market immediately. Once your assets fall below a certain threshold, credit quality, you have to liquidate them. And you're like, there is no buyers. So inherently the market is not there, which means the price falls through the ceiling, through the floor. Well, that sucks, but mark-to-market accounting says you have to liquidate. And you're like, well, I can't do that. Well, you're gonna have to find a way. Thus, the debacle of no liquidity. Liquidity crisis, because there's no one there with cash to buy. All right, so now we're toying with this. Well, I guess not toying anymore. I mean, we're saying, Russia, we appreciate it. You know, good job overthrowing your commies in 1991. We appreciate that, but we're going to kick you out. So, of course, Russia says, all right, I guess we'll align more with China, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. What's that called? Saudi Arabia, Iran. Oh, it's called BRICS. I guess we'll align more with the BRICS. A competing entity to who we thought were the righteous guys. And you're starting to say, well, we're the righteous ones. Yeah. And what happens now when those countries start competing against us? What happens when you say we're getting rid of one of the G20s? I'm not sure if Russia's part of the G8. I don't think so, but they're certainly part of the G20. What happens? What happens to liquidity? You think quantitative easing is just going to step in here? It's freaking crazy. All right, so now you fast forward. Your wife dies. You get sick. Your wife dies, something like that, whatever. A significant issue that happens, or even not as bad as my man. You just lose your job because your company says, look, man, our biggest trading partner is Russia, and right now we can't do business with Russia, so we're going to let you go. You lose your job. Simultaneously, your assets fall, 57%, a la 2001, 2007 through 2009, or 75% in growth stocks, a la 2001 and 2. So let's just put you in that position, amigos. You lose your job. Your assets fall 50%, we'll just say, because this literally did happen, because there's no liquidity. There's no bottom, no buyers. And before we could print our way out of it purportedly, now, how are we going to do that, man? Now, that's how you get mass inflation, by the way. The government just massively printing to wipe out debts. That's how you get inflation. That's not what's happened before, but that's absolutely good. So when I say government printing press can't cause inflation, well, the way it's been hasn't been, but if we want mass inflation to wipe out debts, sure, that's what Germany did, 100%. We haven't come close to doing that yet. Certainly can. You say, we don't have the liquidity to pay these debts. We're just going to massively print money to wipe them out. And that's where you get hyperinflation, which we've never had in the United States. I don't want to hear it. We've never had hyperinflation. We've had one instance of high inflation, but that's it. So what do you do? Now you got no job. Your house is worth a half of what it was, and your portfolio is down 50%. What do you do? Well, you're going to be in a world of hurt, aren't you? Simply because you got no liquidity. But you got debt. You got to pay your bills. And trust me, the banks want to get paid just as much as you want to get paid from your selling your bonds, which are what exactly? Bonds are a debt obligation that you own, that someone owes to you. So just like you want to get paid by selling your bond, your bank wants to get paid by calling in your debt. See how that works? No clue where this is headed. No clue where this is headed. Anyway, so I just revert back to that guy. He survived and he's doing fine now. He misses his wife, of course. He's got a girl, so a girlfriend, I should say. You know, they're rock solid. But those times could come back easily. Humanity is full of times just like that. And then you start seeing the freaking, the insanity that is a global trade of currencies and stuff. It's a house of sand. I tell you, man. Anyway, if I'm sitting there and I got money, and I'm that close to, I'm thinking about this for myself. I went to Wellington the other day, which I'm happy with, but I don't have enough cash. I just sent a freaking boatload of money to the IRS. Took a lot of my cash out of my liquidity account. Now I mean cash in my bank. Still got some, not nearly as much as I had because I had to pay the tax man. But if you don't have cash, dudes, building up, and I'd have some cash at home too. You know, definitely protect with a fireproof box. Definitely protect with a Glock and a dog, absolutely. But if you don't have some cash, gold coins, silver coins, that doesn't mean you're a freaking fearmonger, a paranoid, you got a bunker. It just means you're prepared in case. I would highly suggest you do this because a house built on sand can't last, man. And we have no clue what we're getting into. Again, we have senators calling for the assassination of presidents of foreign countries that we disagree with, calling for assassinations out in the open, literally the murder of people. How come Lindsey Graham isn't calling? I don't even want to say it about China, but why doesn't Lindsey Graham put two and two together? China, Lindsey Graham, why isn't he saying that? Because China isn't killing white people. So when you start killing white people, all of a sudden Lindsey Graham gets mad. Whole thing's nuts. I'll deal with that. We'll see you.